Hey guys, welcome to my newest video for today. Today's video is going to be my weekly reviews. So I'm just going to talk about what I've watched in the past week, and I had a pretty good viewing week overall. I managed to watch a few different movies, and also I managed also to finish a couple of TV shows, like seasons. So I will just get straight into it. And the first TV season I finished was Game of Thrones season 2. I finally finished it. This has been like an endeavour since about March, because back then I was kind of like, I was going to rewatch all of Game of Thrones in the lead up to season 5, and basically I got through season 1 really quickly, and then I kind of got to like 2 episodes into season 2 and I'm just like, why was I so eager to watch this all again? Because it was kind of like I had to sit through Joffrey's stuff, and Joffrey's stuff in season, like the things he does in season 2, like I think this is like probably at his worst. And yeah, that just I sort of just had to, was like, come on, get through season 2, and then you only have one more season to put up with Joffrey, and then so yeah, but I finally got through season 2. I mean, overall, it's not a bad season. I mean, it's not like an absolute favourite. I don't think it was quite as good as season 1 was in terms of like viewing them, because like season 1 was pretty amazing, and like season 2 was good, but I didn't feel it was as like on par with season 1. And even though like probably has one of my favorite like episode 9s, because I thought Blackwater, I think that's the name of it, I think that was like a really good episode. Like it would definitely, like in terms of like overall favorite episodes, that would be on there. But yeah, overall it's season 2 is still, you know, pretty good, and I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10 overall. And then as part of my Doctor Who like marathoning the new TV show, I watched Doctor Who The Infinite Quest, because I think basically usually when I do these marathons I watch the animated ones at the end of the season, like because, you know, it's around, obviously, because it's got Martha as a companion, it's season 3, but I usually do it at the end. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to actually do it, like, pick a spot in the season to actually watch it. And I think most people tend to put it after 42, and like after 42 before Human Nature, Family of Blood. And so that's what I ended up doing. And, you know, it's not anything amazing, but it's just, you know, a fun animated feature-length episode, basically. Yeah, it's just, I just, you know, it's just a bit of, you know, an easy watch, because especially like where it sits in the season. It was just a bit of lightheartedness before I got to you know, Human Nature and Family of Blood, because yeah, those episodes are kind of partly, especially like this, I think pretty sure the sequel's Family of Blood, because yeah, that episode's just heartbreaking. And yeah, I just sort of needed, I was like, I'm gonna watch this before I get to those like episodes, and so that's what I did. And I gave Infinite Quest, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. And then I finally finished watching Heroes season 1 on Netflix, because I'm kind of like, I've been sort of powering through the season, because I really do want to finish like a rewatch before Heroes Reborn starts. And because I never watched season 4, and like I've only seen like the first 3 seasons, and I don't know if I'll get it like to that point, but like season 2 is pretty quick, like only 11 episodes, so I think I should be able to power through that pretty quickly. But yeah, but overall, like, I forgot how good season 1 of Heroes actually was, like, just sort of watching it again, and it's like, it's really, it was just such a strong season. And then it's almost a shame that, you know, the writer's strike happened so soon after that, like, it was almost like straight away after that season. And while I don't mind season 2, like, I mean, it's been a while since I've actually watched it, so I'll be going into season 2 not really remembering a lot of what happened, but season 1, it was like really good. It was yeah, because if it's just like, you know, the build up to like the finale, which is I think one of the best season finales of the show, because like how to stop an exploding man, I think is one of my favorite episodes overall in season 1. Because it's just like, you know, episodes like 8 seconds to midnight, 8 minutes to midnight it might be, I think, not 8 seconds. But yeah, like episode 8 of season 1, and also 5 Years Ago, and that's one of my favourite episodes overall of Heroes, because I really do like it when they do the flashbacks, like they either do it like in the future or they do it in the past, like, because I think they had, I think it was like 6 months before or something, that like when they're all starting to get their powers, and that was another good episode. Actually, those 3 episodes, like, yeah, the 8 minutes to midnight, I can't remember what the episode was called, but when Peter actually does come in and save Claire from Sylar, and which is episode 9, and then yeah, episode 10, like those 3 episodes, like were all excellent. And yeah, but overall, like, yeah, I really do love season 1, and I'm going to give season 1 a 9 out of 10. So then they were the TV shows I finished, like I watched or finished watching, and then I ended up watching 6 movies. So, and with the exception of one, they were all ones I hadn't seen before. So the first one that I watched was Man of Steel. So I finally have seen all the like live action Superman films. And it's taken me a while, but I got there in the end. So, and you know what? I actually really enjoyed Man of Steel. I think I did prefer it slightly more than Superman Returns, which, as I said in my previous reviews, I actually did like Superman Returns. But no, I had a lot of fun with Man of Steel, and it wasn't quite what I was expecting. I mean, I wasn't really sure what to expect going in, because I didn't really know a whole lot about it, and then like I sort of went into it and I'm like, oh, okay, because yeah, it was just basically yeah, because I actually really, I think as a lot of people said, like the start of Man of Steel is actually like really good. Like I was actually quite impressed with the start, like the, you know, escape from Krypton, and seeing how, you know, like the planets fall, and I also really liked Russell Crowe as Superman's father. I can't remember the character's name, sorry, but I thought he was actually like a lot of yeah, like he was really good in the role. And I actually really liked the whole spaceship scene where he's like directing Lois out of the spaceship. I thought that was pretty cool. And but yeah, it was just a lot of like a really fun film, I thought. I liked how they sort of dealt with his past, like Clark Kent, like, you know, growing up and how he got his powers, and I did like that aspect of it. Like we saw glimpses of you know, his abilities and things like that. I thought that was actually done pretty well. And I also really liked how that tied into like with Lois Lane, how she sort of, once when she had her first encounter with Superman, how she actually, you know, went through, like she used her journalistic skills to actually, you know, find out who he was. And I actually really did like that aspect, because usually, you know, the films, they sort of have, you know, she's got her suspicions, but then she doesn't know for certain. But this time she actually did something about it. Like she sort of dug deep into, you know, she went went back to his childhood home. She, you know, talked, you know, to his people who knew him, like who were there, like for like these initial like incidents, and I did like that aspect. And yeah, and it's also like with the end, how he sort of like when he starts his job at the Daily Planet, I did like you know, that she's there and she already knows who he is, but like, you know, obviously he's not going to say anything, but I did like that aspect, like how they dealt with, you know, knowing the identity and things like that. And yeah, it was just like moments like that. And also I thought the fight scenes, like towards the end, like there was like the fight scenes in this were like really like intense. It was kind of like not what I was expecting, because I think like Superman Returns was a lot more low key, and then this one, it was like they really didn't stop. Like there was just like utter destruction everywhere, and I think that's sort of, if I'm right, it's like based on the like the trailers for Batman and Superman. I think that's what that destruction is, but I mean, I could be wrong, but so I am looking forward to Batman and Superman, so, you know, to see the fallout. And yeah, so I am, because I'm also going to finish my Batman rewatch that I started at the start of the year, and I haven't gotten back to yet, but yeah, but I finally finished the Superman films. And yeah, so I gave Man of Steel... Oh, and actually the other thing I wanted to say, I really did like Henry Cavill, I'm not sure how to say it. I really did like his portrayal of Superman as well. And yeah, and I liked also Amy Adams as Lois Lane. Like, I thought they actually had... I liked their chemistry. I thought they worked really well together, so... and I gave Man of Steel I give it an 8 out of 10. Then I finally got around to watching How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2, because I have How to Train Your Dragon, like I've had it for a couple of years, like the movie on Blu-ray, and then I watched the second one on Netflix because like I didn't have this, because it's, well, I figured it's on Netflix, I may as well watch it. Well, it's rather than, you know, go out and buy myself a copy, but I will probably end up doing that because I loved How to Train Your Dragon, like both films I really loved. And yeah, it was just, I was just really surprised, like, because I mean, I knew a lot of people loved these films, and I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to enjoy it, but I didn't think I'd enjoy them as much. Like, I sort of watched them, and then I started it, and then I'm like, yeah, I just sort of, you know, love the whole concept with, you know, the dragons, and sort of, I loved, you know, Hiccup's relationship with Toothless, and because especially in the first one, like when he's doing, like he suddenly becomes like really good at like handling all these dragons, and everyone's just like, how are you so good at all of this? And yeah, I just thought it was done really well. It was is like with the character development and how they, you know, it evolved, like the series, and because yeah, I just loved it, especially the second one. I think I like the second one slightly more, because I think the second one had a lot more heart to it, and oh my god, the second one made me cry, and that very rarely happens. This is like the third film where I've actually started sobbing in recent years, like, because yeah, I just generally don't cry in movies, but it's also like the second animated movie to make me cry, so yeah, but even though I did sort of see it coming, because I was sort of like, with the whole bit, you know, about becoming Hiccup taking over from his father, I was like, okay, that's not a good, like, sign, like, because you're sort of starting off with the foreshadowing, and I'm like, okay, I think I can see where it's going, but I didn't think it would go the way it did, and I was just like, what? And I was like, I was so heartbroken when he's like, he tries to get rid of Hiccup, even though, when Hiccup tries to get rid of Toothless, you know, even though it wasn't Toothless's fault, but I still felt so bad, and it was just, like, yeah, it was just, yeah, it was really gut-wrenching, that whole scene. But I'm glad I have finally seen both How to Train Your Dragon movies. Definitely on board for How to Train Your Dragon 3, which I think's not coming out to like 2018. But I will be there to see it. And also, what else? Oh yeah, and this was also as part of my watching every Oscar-nominated movie project, because both films were actually nominated, like, for the Best Animated Picture. Like, How to Train Your Dragon was nominated for the 2011 Academy Awards, and How to Train Your Dragon 2 was nominated last year, but because Big Hero 6 won for that one, which I have seen and I talked about last week. But I still really enjoyed How to Train Your Dragon 2, and I'd probably give How to Train Your Dragon and probably an 8 out of 10, and How to Train Your Dragon 2 an 8.5 out of 10. Then I watched Focus, with the movie with Will Smith and Margot Robbie, and I ended up really enjoying this, like, a lot more than what I thought I was going to, because I sort of saw the trailer and I was like, oh yeah. And then I was kind of, intrigued by the concept and like how that was going to work, and like I had a basic idea of the plot, but yeah, I just sort of, just the way they carried it out, like, because it was really one of those films where you sort of really didn't know what was going on, because when you thought you knew what was happening, it just went around and turned it on its head, like, because you didn't know who was conning who. Like, you thought, okay, this is part of a con, isn't it? And then you're like, okay, it's not. And then yeah, it just sort of went in different directions. Like, you thought you knew what was happening, and then the next scene you're like, okay, I was completely wrong. But yeah, as I said, I just really enjoyed this film. I had such a fun time watching it, and Will Smith and Margot Robbie had excellent chemistry in this movie. Like, they worked really well together, and I think that's in part what made I mean, like, you really could believe, like, their relationship, like, their characters' relationships, and yeah, it's just sort of when they were doing the whole, like, conning and everything like that, you're just like, huh. It's just sort of like, I think that's also what made it, like, that aspect of the film work really well, is because you didn't know, if the characters were being genuine, or, it was all part of a facade. And yeah, it was just, yeah, I just had such a fun time with this movie. It's not, the best film ever, but it was a lot of fun, and I think for that reason, so I think I gave this one an 8 out of, it's like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. It's in that vicinity. I'm not quite sure whether it's like a full-on 8, but it's definitely one that I would rewatch again. So and yeah, so that was Focus. And then I finally got back into my James Bond movie marathon, because I am trying to rewatch the films before Spectre comes out, but again, watching a lot of stuff at the moment, so it may not, I may not get there, but we'll see. Because it's been a while since I've actually seen Thunderball, like a lot of these films, and Thunderball's like no exception, because I was sort of like, what happened in Thunderball? And then I was like, yeah, it was just, and then as I was watching it, I was like, oh, okay, that's right, it's sort of, because I think, is this the first time we actually see, like, the head of Spectre? Like, I mean, we don't actually see him, but we see him, like, stroking his cat. I think it might be, but it's, I always did like that meeting at the start when they're, like, all around the table, and he's like, okay, your report, and then they're, like, telling him all these statistics. I did always enjoy that part. And the other aspect that I actually liked, just, like, I forgot how, like, sarcastic, like, Bond actually was in this film. Like, just some of his one-liners, they were just, like one of my, it's like right at the start, so I think like the alarm goes off and he's kind of like, you know, pretending he, like to go out with everyone else, and he's like, oh, what's going on? Is it the fire alarm? And like, just like that, he's so blasé. And then, and the other part I liked was when, like they had him, like the bad guys, I guess. I can't remember the girl's name in this, like the Bond girl villain. She was sort of like when they like were dancing in the thing, and then when she gets like shot, like because he sort of like that scene where he like sort of moves and she gets hit, and he sort of puts her down like at a seat, and she's like, oh, don't mind my friend, she's just dead. I just sort of just the way he delivers some of those lines is just probably like some of my favorite like like not so much moments, but I did just sort of like, yeah, I guess the humor, it's very sarcastic humor, but it's kind of one, you know, that I like. So but yeah, overall, like Thunderball's not one of my favorite stories like in the Sean Connery like Bond era, but well, actually out of so I think actually Goldfinger is probably my favorite Sean Connery Bond film, but I'd have to like sit down and work it out because I'm obviously still only like a little bit into the films, but I still enjoy Thunderball. Like it's you know, it's still like a entertaining story and that, but I think this one I'd probably give an 8 out of 10 just because yeah, not, as I said, one of my favorites, but you know, it's still like enjoyable to watch and that. So then the last film that I have on this list is The Gallows, which is one of the found footage horror films that came out this year. I'll be perfectly honest, I was actually quite intrigued by this film because I was actually considering at one point, you know, to go to the cinema to see it, but I was like, I think with a lot of these ones, it's like they're very like, you sort of don't know, like they're hit or miss, but the concept intrigued me because I sort of do like the idea of, you know, like the whole theatre being haunted type premise, and I was just so I thought, oh yeah, I'll check this one out. And for the most part, I did actually like the film, but then it's sort of one of those ones where you get the ending and you just sort of like, that does not make much sense. Just because it's sort of when you're trying to work out the timeline, it's just like, how is that even possible? And you don't really get, I mean, the concept itself was actually quite, I thought was quite well done, like, because I thought, oh yeah, that's actually quite unique, and then you sort of think back and you're just like, it doesn't really make much sense. And I think that actually did like downplay like the enjoyment of the film. Well, that and a couple of the characters were like really annoying, especially the guy at the start, because yeah, you were just basically wanting him to die because it was just it was so obnoxious. I was just like, just die already. Because like you knew he was going to die. It was that obvious, but yeah, but I also did like how they changed out the cameras. Like they sort of swapped from, you know, they had a camera and, you know, then they were like swapped batteries, and then you'd sort of get different points of view, and then you would also get so you'd get like the different points of view from like the characters, like, because, you know, they'd be off one minute and then 5 minutes later you'd get what happened to lead up to that point. So I thought that was really well done. And then it would also switch out between the, like, you know, the iPhone cameras and just things like that. But I think overall, I mean, I didn't hate the film. I just, I think especially with the ending, when once you try and work out, you know, how it all adds up, you just sort of, it does sort of undermine the film a bit. Like, I mean, it could have worked if they just changed, you know, the whole, it's been 20 years since this play happened, like, in the accident. And I was like, if they just changed it to fit the characters' ages, I think it would have actually worked, like, really well. But yeah, but for that main reason, I think I'm going to give The Gallows a 6 out of 10. So it's, yeah, not one I'd be in a major hurry to rewatch. Like, I mean, it had a couple of, you know, scares in it, but I think it was one of those ones where you, like, you know something's going to happen, and then they sort of deliberately play that, you know, whole, like, jump scare thing. It's not, like, yeah, you just know something loud's going to happen and things like that. So, but I will have to admit, yeah, I got caught out a couple of times because of that. But, yeah, it's not like, as I said, not a horrible film, but it's not a great one either, so. But yeah, that's it for this week's reviews. So I guess I'll stop it here, and thank you guys for watching, and until my next video, I will see you guys next time. Bye!